What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's going on with Tesla SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm also going to talk about some big updates involving Tesla and Apple, what's going on with the charts so far, some very important developments that are happening. But before I break into devil's information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Weeble link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull and deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 free stocks. Deposit $25,000 or more, you're guaranteed 75 of them. The offer ends very soon, just a couple of weeks. Anyways, what's happening to Tesla right now is Tesla got a bit of a dip because I talked about this news that came out in the morning about how Tesla has laid off more than 10% of its global workforce, more than 14,000 employees. And they did this amidst what's been happening around the overall economy, their sales, and such. And this was announced in a big letter by Elon Musk to their employees. That's very, very important. This has come out in a company wide email sent by Musk. And this is going to allow them to be a lot more lean, innovative, hungry, and such. So they didn't say the exact number. They said more than 10% of their workforce is going to be laid off, essentially. So that means more than 14,000 employees. Obviously, Tesla's been going through a lot of hurdles, and this is something that's very necessary for them to do. Of course, we've seen this throughout so many big tech stocks out there, and this is very important news. So, another piece of news that's important is Apple's iPhone first quarter shipments have sunk in a bit. As we're seeing a lot of challenges in China, as we're seeing their units down about 9.6% relative to the previous year. Despite that, Apple's still holding up. So I just wanted to note that, at least for anyone that's interested or invested. Today, in about 30 minutes from now, we also have the 3 month and 6 month bill auctions coming out. Look for volatility, not to mention more data at noon, and everything else is very minor from here. We'll just see what the bill auctions cause. And then with the whole situation involving Iran and Israel, I just want to note that officially things have not escalated very, very insanely. But I do want to note that there's a lot of tensions right now that's still being talked about by the media, and the stock market's not ready for a big bounce yet. It could happen later on. Even today, we could get a small bounce, but we're not ready yet. There's still a lot of tensions arising, a lot of speculation about potential attacks from either side. If Israel launches a counterattack or not to mention Iran doing something else. So I just want to make it clear that, whatever happens, I personally hope that neither side attacks the other. I hope that we just remain at peace and we try to move on from here. I hope that this whole situation does not become more tense. But I am seeing a lot of tensions, and this is a little bit negative for the market for now. I was hoping the market would get a rebound. We did attempt to rebound a bit, but now we're coming back down, at least temporarily. And then we'll see how we end up reacting to some very, very critical levels. But you could see on SPY, kind of dipping a little bit. We have this gap to fill all the way down to this 510.5 area. I could see SPY dip a little bit, and this is having a negative effect on Tesla. So as far as Tesla goes, we're going to start off with this and break down more charts. We're just barely holding the 165 support right now. We're kind of shuffling around here. So it's been ping-ponging back and forth at this support. Hasn't really been doing too much, and we're kind of stuck for now. We have resistance at 167.8 and 168, not to mention 170.5. We have support at a 165. If we lose this, watch 162. We're kind of stuck right now, but I just want to note that as far as Tesla goes, we've been shuffling in this 165 area, not really doing a whole lot. I think that there is a risk of it just continuing to do so for now. There's a little bit downwards pressure thanks to SPY, but we're going to be watching to see how well it holds this. As of right now, it may continue to hold this. We have a bearish structure in terms of its pattern right over here. You guys can see there's a head and shoulders. That could suggest more downside if we lose 165. But as of right now, that's the critical support to be watching for. I think that Tesla's going to attempt to hold it for an extended period of time. And then we'll see what happens from there. With that being said, for Tesla, let's talk about SPY. SPY to me looks a little bit more bearish. It was trying to rebound, trying to get that bounce. It wasn't ready yet because of these negative headlines. So we could come down to fill this gap, but I do think that SPY is going to try to hold support very close to this range, and we'll see what it does from there. But I just wanted to note that that's what it's looking like so far. Also know that as far as the overall market goes, there's a little bit more weakness for the time being. I still think the market could bounce later on once all the news kind of eases down about the whole Israel-Iran situation, but it needs a bit more time. Unfortunately, it's a little bit premature right now. For there to be a massive bounce, we're not ready yet. So look and see if we come down to fill this gap, then we're trying to get a small rebound from here. And we'll see what happens by the end of the day. But I am seeing a little bit more potential for downside before we try to rebound a little bit more. So give the market a little bit more time. We're not ready yet. Same thing with the triple Q. We're coming down to fill this gap. It's going to be down to 437.6. Watch 438 as support and 437 flat. We have 436 and 434 below that. Resistance, watch 440 flat as well. Could dip a little bit more and try to rebound as we get very, very close to our demand zone. But I do see a little bit more potential to dip a bit. Apple is down just a little bit, but it's not doing as bad. We're on a slight little downtrend. We have support at 174, which is at 175 and 175.74. If we lose support at 174, look for 173.38. We are dipping just a little bit, very slightly, but we've been stuck in this range, and we may just remain in this range for the time being. The reason why Apple has been like kind of stuck right now is because it was already on a breakout. There was some negative news about their Chinese sales, which caused a little dip, but it's still kind of stuck for the time being, not really doing much. And then for Nvda rebounded all the way up to about 908, kind of rejected. Look at the 50 EMA at 884. If we lose this support, we could be looking for a dip all the way down to this 875 area. So if it does dip a little bit more, could come down to about 875 and then rebound again. But for now, I'm watching 884. If that fails, let's watch 875, and then it's going to come back up after that. So a little dip and then a bounce back up. But for now, I'm seeing a little bit of a risk of it dipping a little bit lower to the mid 880s and then a little bit lower from there. So we'll just give it a little bit of time. Just for a few more real quick, Supermicro dipping a bit to about 913. Could retest 909 and try to rebound. So it's kind of flat in a range. Coinbase is approaching its key support. So I could see this dip a little bit more towards about 238 and 236. But then we're going to be looking for a rebound after that if that ends up happening. As far as Amazon goes, Amazon's going to be testing 186.77. If we lose this, look for a gap fill all the way down to 1. That 185 is followed by the 185 range before it tries to come back up. I could see it dip a little bit, but watch 186.7 as support. It's not really that weak. It's just dipping a little bit. Meta has come down to fill its gap all the way down to about 508, and also watch 506 as key support. 506 to 507 could come down to this range, and we'll see if we get a rebound from there because that's where our support is. If we lose 506, look for 500 flat. If we hold it, we could try to rebound, so it could dip a little bit more, and then we'll see what it does from there. Anyways, that is all I'm seeing on the charts, at least for the time being. There is a risk of a little bit more downside, but we'll have to see how well we hold up. Also know that Tesla is barely holding 165, so we'll see how this does as well. Give it some time. And with that being said, I just want to thank you all so much for listening. So once again, guys, unfortunately, the market was not ready for a big bounce yet. But what I do find to be decent is the fact that both sides are kind of like more restrained right now. They may de-escalate the situation very, very soon. But for now, there's a lot of tensions from different politicians and a lot of things going on around the world. So the market's not ready for that big bounce yet. We have to give this a little bit more time. But I still think the market will rebound eventually. And we have to give it a bit more time as this continues to like unfold. All right. So thank you for listening. Let's hope for the best. Let's remain optimistic and let's, keep our hands up for peace. That's where I stand. I just want the best for everyone. And we'll see how the market responds from here. As of right now, we're a little bit more bearish. So watch Tesla very, very carefully. And then we'll see if we try to get, those gap fills on SPY and Tesla continues to hold up at this level. All right. So watch support, do what you have to do. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you and peace out.